Welcome, everybody, to the next episode of the Matters podcast. And our hope here today is that whatever is shared through lessons learned or the story shared, that it would inspire you to take a next step in your journey. And today we are so excited to have boss lady Michaela with us today. Welcome, Michaela.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, and you?
I'm good, thank you.
Nice. We are so privileged to have Michaela. Michaela is busy with so many things, and so thank you for giving us the privilege of your time
It's my
to
pleasure.
hear from you today. But before we jump into what you're up to, why don't you tell us a bit about who you are? Maybe where were you born? Are you from Cape Town? Maybe some of your schooling background and education and those type of things.
Okay, so I was born in Kimberley and I moved to Cape Town when I was 3 years old, so I'm Cape Townian.
Yeah, you are Cape
But I
Town.
go annually to Kimberley because I'm also a Kimberlite and my family's from Kimberley.
Kimberlite.
Yeah, Kimberlite.
Nice.
And I've been in Cape Town for most of my life actually, so I'm Cape Townian. So family from the Cape Flats, Afrikaans,
Yeah.
Afrikaans and everything. But I have a very diverse background in family. So I've got Xhosa, Sotho,
Wow.
Scottish, British,
Sure.
and San, and possibly Khoi as well.
Yeah.
I think Khoi. Yeah, that's my background. And then schooling,
Yeah.
my senior school, I was at Springfield Convent in Cape Town. And after that, I attended the University of Cape Town for my undergrad and my postgrad. And then I further studied at the business school
Yeah.
of UCT.
Yeah.
And so that was that. So I have
Yeah.
a great academic background
Yeah.
before everything.
That's awesome. I love that you come from such a diverse space.
Yeah.
You're from Kimberley, you've come to Cape Town, but even in your family, like lineage, there's so many various cultures kind of represented in who you are.
No, definitely.
I'm curious, what is it like, or what does that mean, like anything to you, that you're from such a diverse space like that, it makes you who you are, maybe,
Yeah.
growing up with all that diversity, living in Cape Town, did that kind of, what did that mean anything to you? Is diversity even, like, is it tough, etc., etc.?
I think with culture, there's a lot obviously to unpack because of like looking the way I look.
Yeah.
So I'm a Cape Coloured.
Yeah,
But there's a lot to unpack around that.
sure.
But I would say that it's a privilege for me to have such a diverse background, to have family in the Eastern Cape, to go to Mgitis and then going to Kimberley where I only found out later in my life that like I'm half Sotho on my dad's side
Sure.
and San. So I didn't really grow up with those cultures and stuff. I
Yeah.
grew up as a Cape Coloured.
Yeah,
So culturally, I'm Cape Coloured.
sure.
But just knowing my background and like I am very open to wanting to understand it,
Yeah.
to grow into it. So when I go to Kimberley, I explore the spaces where the San people are from.
Yeah.
In the Eastern Cape, I live very much rural where I explore all the culture.
Yeah.
Obviously, other cultures of my background, can't really explore because it's
Sure.
more westernized and it's
Yeah.
not to go into that. But for me, I find that it makes me a more wholesome person.
Yeah.
Having that background and understanding different aspects of who I am as a person.
Yeah.
Obviously, I would love to explore that more
Yeah.
later in life, even now.
Yeah.
But it's exciting. I think
Sure.
it makes me a better people's person because I have this want to understand culture. So I'm very big on cultures.
Yeah.
Like I've been to Brazil and I love their culture. I immerse myself fully into cultures
Yeah.
when I explore
Sure.
with those people,
Yeah. That's awesome. No, culture is rich, and so I think because you have so many diverse culture is kind of embedded in you. It just
Yeah.
makes you all the more richer.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. But tell us, I know that you run, a number of businesses.
Yeah.
Tell us about them.
Okay, so I am a serial entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And I love the social impact aspect of entrepreneurship. So I'm not just for making the money, but it's also how I can give back.
Sure.
So to start off, I have a digital company that specializes with all things digital.
Yeah.
Then
And the name of that company is?
Amalua Digital. And then I have my photography company, which is the oldest one, which is Micaela Sling Photography. And I recently merged the two. So my photography company and my digital company. Then I have my natural and organics product range company called Uzuri Beauty.
Awesome.
Uzuri is Swahili for beauty.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I have that company, which I'm recently now expanding into more product line, but it initially specialized on hair growth, oils, and that's all for now.
Yeah, no, that's a lot.
Yeah.
When you've started so many businesses, when did you first realize that you were, entrepreneurial? Did you always know that you wanted to start businesses?
Yeah.
Were you thinking of going into a full-time 9-to-5 at one point? But when did you realize that there was an opportunity for you to start kind of all these things? Was that always what you wanted?
I've always known that I was an entrepreneurial type of person from young, because I would always sell products or whatever. I would be quick to start things to make money, a hustle spirit, I would say, or turning myself into a person who can make money just by being who I am. So I've done coaching, I've worked 9-to-5, I've done a variety of things. But when I realized I wanted to go into business was just before COVID hit. So I was working a 9-to-5 job, and I realized that I can do so much more with my time. And my time can be utilized to make so much more money and to do so much more if I actually just work for myself.
Sure.
And then COVID hit.
Oh, wow.
And then things are obviously very different because you've never really experienced something of that sort. But I luckily pushed through. Taught myself a few things, went back into learning skills and stuff. And then once COVID obviously was was let down a little, we're able to do much more.
That's cool.
And that's when I really pushed my companies forward.
Yeah. So you actually used the COVID time to grow in your skills and to learn and kind of just better yourself.
No, definitely.
That's
Use that time very much well. Because obviously companies went down. So the company I was with before I went into entrepreneurship, I wasn't working for them anymore.
Yeah, sure. And what are maybe 3 lessons that you've learned during your entrepreneurship journey that you think could be helpful for other entrepreneurs listening in today?
So firstly, I would say don't doubt yourself.
Sure.
I think imposter syndrome is it's your biggest downfall. I suffer from imposter syndrome.
Sure.
And if you go out and if you doubt yourself, you'll miss out a lot of opportunities because you won't put yourself out there.
Yeah.
So that's number 1.
Yeah.
Number 2, I'd say be kind.
Yeah.
And show love in all you do. So especially with my photography company, I focus on being kind and showing people love so that they can learn to love themselves and grow.
Yeah.
Because I think it's in being kind to others, that's how we get help.
Sure.
And how we get put forward.
Yeah.
Is by being a good person to others and showing love.
Yeah.
And it also goes back to my Christian background of showing love and kindness to people.
That's awesome.
And number 3, I would say is to never become complacent.
Sure.
I think the greatest in entrepreneurship, becoming too comfortable will be your greatest downfall.
Sure.
Because then you won't push yourself. You won't want to grow. You just be content with where you are. It's good to be content, obviously. But if you become complacent, you won't push yourself. You'll lose out on growing, meeting new people, getting opportunities.
Yeah, sure. Sure.
So those three.
No, those are so great. I'm curious. I'm sure, because entrepreneurship it's a difficult road to walk. There's the great days. Maybe business is booming, but it's also can swing all the way to the other side where business is not.
Definitely.
How do you push through those difficult periods?
I am honestly blessed to have a very great support system.
Okay.
And entrepreneurship is a very lonely road. You don't never see the
Yeah.
part where people struggle, where they're
Yeah.
crying,
Yeah.
where they feel lost, where they want to give up. You never see that.
Yeah.
And I'm blessed to have such a support system behind me, praying with me.
Yeah.
I'm able to go to my family,
Yeah.
friends, my partner. I can speak and say, like, I don't know what's happening.
Sure.
Like, I need help. And
Yeah.
it's like, okay, cool, what can we do?
Yeah.
Sometimes just saying, can you pray for me? Can you pray blessings over my businesses?
Yeah.
Like, it's, you need a support system.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
really need a support system, because if you don't have that, doing it alone is the toughest thing.
Sure.
Like, you can fall very easily, and
Yeah.
especially when times are quiet.
Yeah. No, standing with others keeps us from falling apart.
No, definitely.
And so community is always essential to
definitely
people's
agree.
journey, just in life in general.
Yeah.
I think. Within your journey, how do you define success? What does success look? Because I know that can look different for different people.
Yeah.
And so as you walk your entrepreneurship journey, what is success for you?
So I think success is very subjective.
Yeah.
To start off, success obviously is being content,
Yeah.
but also not being complacent. Like, being content, a lot of people are like, I'm happy where I'm at. I'm cool. I've got this, and that, but that's not enough.
Yeah.
As humans, we always want more.
Yeah.
But it's being content,
Yeah.
not having stress of, okay, where's the next thing going to come from and stuff. So for me, success is an ever-growing thing. It's like, I'll never be successful like that.
Sure. Yeah.
Because if I say I'm successful in that aspect, then it would mean that I'm not going to do anything more.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm going to become complacent and just chill because I'm content where I'm at.
Yeah. There's a
And
finish line.
I am content. I'm happy,
Yeah.
But there's so much more I want to do, but it doesn't mean that I'm not successful.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think success is such a subjective thing, because some people might look at me and be like, I want to be like you when I'm older, or I want to be like you. So I'm success to them.
Sure.
But for me, there's so much more I want to do. There's so many things I want to tap into.
Yeah.
That makes me feel like I'm not successful. I don't think that it's a destinational thing. It's a journey.
That's awesome.
And in the journey aspect, I am successful. I'm content.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's so much more I want to do. So in that aspect,
Yeah.
I'm not successful yet,
Yeah. No, that's some great pearls of wisdom there. What are some of the joys of being an entrepreneur? I know we've spoken kind of about some of the the downsides and the hard sides, but for someone maybe listening in today that's thinking of embarking on the entrepreneurship journey, what are some of the things that make you feel like, wow, like there's nothing else I'd rather do than be an entrepreneur?
Yeah. The biggest thing is the flexibility behind being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So with me, I've got a niece and a nephew, and I can spend so much time with him and grow with him and spend time with my family.
Yeah.
Because I have the flexibility.
Yeah.
I know when it's time to work.
Yeah.
So obviously you have to be disciplined.
Yeah.
Very disciplined. Or you'll fall behind.
Sure.
Which happens.
Yeah.
But the flexibility is a big thing for me. And the possibilities of making great profits is there with entrepreneurship. So you can make a big loss, or you can make great profits. And it depends on yourself and how you network, how you push yourself. So the opportunities is really great with entrepreneurship. You can go very far with it. But the biggest thing for me is the flexibility and just living life. Like in my space, I get to travel a lot, which is one of my big things, because I have a travel blog as well, where I explore, I travel, and I'm still able to work. So it's working with the flexibility, but entrepreneurship is, it helps you decide what you want in life. and working around what you want. So for me, it's traveling, spending time with my family and my loved ones, but also finding the time to make money as well, you know?
No, that's awesome. I heard you throw the word networking out there. Talk to us a bit about the importance of networking as an entrepreneur.
Yeah. I don't know if you've heard the saying that your net work is your net.
Is your net
No,
worth.
your net worth is your network, or your network is your net worth.
Yeah.
One of the two.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like word of mouth in entrepreneurship goes a really long way. Like I've shot people before, not shot like that, but like photography, where I'm like, how did you find out about me? You don't follow me. And they're like, no, this person told me about you.
Sure.
Or this person spoke about you. So it's like, you meet people, and that's why I say it's always about being kind and showing love to people, because you don't know who's talking about you and how they're talking about you and in what spaces they're talking about you. So networking, going out saying, hey there, oh no, I have this. Like, it's not, for some people, it's like, oh, I'm so embarrassed to talk about what I do, but you don't know who's listening.
Yeah.
It might not be the person that you've spoken to, but they might know someone, or someone might overhear you.
Yeah.
And in networking, you're talking about yourself.
Yeah.
And you're pushing yourself. But for many, obviously, we don't want to talk about ourselves. But that's how you actually push in entrepreneurship. It's a lot of networking and growing in spaces.
Yeah. No, thanks. Are there any, maybe some last thoughts that you want to leave with listeners that you think could just help them where they're at?
Yeah. I think in the entrepreneurship space, don't do things hastily.
Okay.
Because when we're impulsive, we don't always think if it's out of emotion and stuff.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurship, yes, it's like, oh, I'm going to leave my job into doing this thing that I really, it's my passion, it's my love, but you have a plan.
Yeah.
What's your plan going forward? Because then you're just going to fail and you're going to fall into a dark hole and you're going to be like, I'm so unsuccessful. And that's a big down, like it's a tough thing to get out of.
Yeah.
But before you leave anything stable, I have a plan.
Sure.
You know, everything will fall into place once you start.
Yeah.
But find ways to start on the side before you push fully into it.
That's so good.
Grow your network. Speak to people about it. Make sure you do your math and everything before you immerse yourself completely into entrepreneurship, because it's a very lonely space and it's a tough space.
Yeah.
And it's if you don't have that drive and that hard work, you're not going to go anywhere, and then you're going to be like, why is nothing working out for me, blah, blah, blah. But it's just that you never planned, you know, and you just have to be ready for everything. I think when preparation meets opportunity, that's when things really happen. You can't expect opportunity to come when you're not prepared.
100%.
And that's the planning part. You can't just be like, I'm going to leave everything and go into, what's your plan? So that's my biggest advice to people.
Sure. And you've started kind of so many businesses already. What can people expect from you maybe in the near upcoming future? You don't have to go into too much detail, but what's kind of in the pipeline for you?
In my pipeline, I'm really hoping to go into, in the photography aspect, I'm hoping to go into shooting more brands, bigger brands.
Cool.
Very exciting. Networking.
Yeah.
Into shooting brands, but also into coffee books and storytelling books.
Hey.
So a real passion of mine has been to rewrite the narrative within the colored communities, so the Cape Flats.
Sure.
So one of the big projects I'm working on with my sister, so she has a PhD in research psychology. Okay. And she worked with storytelling from the Cape Flats.
Sure.
And they loved stories, and I want to bring the visuals behind it,
That's amazing.
retell the stories.
That's amazing.
So I'm hoping to do that in the near future. And then with my natural oils and company, obviously just expand to grow holistically in that aspect.
Yeah. That's really exciting. Really, really exciting. Do you want to share your handles again with people so that they know where to find you?
So my handles are at Micaela Sling _photography. Then it's at Uzuri Beauty _ZA. Then my personal one is at Micaela _Sling. And then the other one is not so much social media growing, but those are my
Not
big
there.
handles.
Yeah, cool. So if you're looking for an incredible photographer with some great natural hair products, Michaela is your gal. Michaela, thanks so much for joining us today. It was really so great hearing from your story and your rich culture, but also your rich experience. And so thanks for sharing, just some great pearls of wisdom with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks so much for tuning in. We hope to see you on the next podcast. If you haven't already, please go back and check out some of our other episodes. But until next time, see you.